We're doing it. Okay. That the monkey butt in there. Wrong way. There's the monkey butt. Okay. Hey everybody. It's Friday. Welcome. Shares have arrived. We have received our dividend, and a few squirrely things happened, but for the most part, went a little bit smoother than I thought. And I think it's largely because the brokerages just invented shares out of nothing and gave them to you. Some folks who had like TD Ameritrade noticed that their shares were labeled as temporary Class A, which makes me think that they're not real. And if you were trying to do anything with calls today, or puts even, you may have had problems like I did, where they wouldn't let you sell. I would put in a sell order, and then a minute later, I would get a notification that I had canceled my sell order. I'm like, I didn't cancel anything. I'm still trying to sell this crap. So I may have to have some words with various brokerages about why they just cost me money. Oh, you costed me money. So yeah, a lot of folks didn't get their shares until this morning. I got some in my fidelity count after close yesterday, but after hours close, and then the others came in after midnight Pacific time. So. Anything else, monkey? Duh. I got nothing. So I might as well just throw that one of these at. Oh, I can only do a 90-minute show today. I got to go at 4 o'clock. Got some things I got to do. So a short-ish show today. I apologize. But until then, one of these. All right. So, J-Dog's noting the Mariners are going to try and win their 15th game in a row tonight. Woo! Against the Astros. Clawing back. They have the chance to, I think, get 3 games for the Astros and get towards that first place. Do it. Why not? Just do it, bro. Okay, Dan Margelo? Well, Dan? Houston, if we are going to mine metals from space and bring them to Earth, wouldn't this increase the Earth's mass and gravity? How much mass can be added to the Earth before the orbit is disturbed? A lot. Just raining down from the cosmos every single solitary day in dust and debris is about 2 tons of material every single day for the last several billion years. So that really hasn't made a dent in the Earth's mass. Maybe if we captured Mars and smashed Mars into us or something, that would be enough to throw us akimbo. But yeah, the amount of material we would get from outer space would pale in comparison to the overall mass of the Earth-Moon system. So it really wouldn't change anything. Casey Chapman, it's much going on in the world to ask a single question. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the show. Well, okay, Casey, do your thing, man. JM, man, what a letdown on a Friday. Well, there's always Monday. Yep. Yeah. Super Steve, what conditions will trigger the squeeze now? Margin calls? I think if we're looking at this dividend to do it, we've got to look at 3 months from now, when these T35s are all lining up and people and hedge funds are facing defaults and forcing to buy. You'll notice that Ortex had reported short interest at 86% on GME right now, and the cost to borrow is 190%. These are all symbols that if this was not such a screwed up system, that we would be squeezing right now. But because things are so screwed up and the SEC is so impotent, nothing's happening. They're like, oh, it's normal. It's normal to have to pay 3 times what the stock is worth in order to borrow it. That's not normal. That if this was 2 years ago, the entire market would be flipping out if they saw the cost to borrow at this rate. Because it's happening in so many meme stocks, in things like Revlon and Redbox and Blockbuster, just the weirdest things are happening with these cost to borrows. And Blockbuster's rising from the dead, and there's rumors that AMC is going to try and buy all of Blockbuster name and everything. That'd be funny if they did. I think that'd be hilarious. So why not? But yes, the conditions to trigger the squeeze, I think, is a general collapse of the market. And when we see probably construction slowdowns and overall housing market conditions come fall, that might be the death knell for everybody. Homes aren't getting sold. The 2 houses that are like for sale right by me that went up for sale, 3 months ago, those houses would have sold the day they went on the market. There would have been a bidding war and it would have been done. We're going on almost 3 weeks. Not a peep. Like I'm waiting for the prices to start lowering. I mean, my real estate friends just a couple months ago were still doing cash bidding wars for houses. There was one. It was a 2-bedroom condo. They listed for like $950 and it sold for $1.3 million in a bidding war for a 2-bedroom condo. Ugh. Like what? It's insane. And now that place is probably worth $750 because no one has the cash to buy it. Yeah. There is a serious credit crunch happening, and the cash available for credit, I think, is dwindling quite a bit right now. Repo companies that like repossess cars can't even keep up. There's cars that are going unrepossessed because they don't have the manpower to go get those vehicles. So we're in a big giant downward spiral when it comes to over leveraged credit obligations. Bullish, welcome Bullish, you're here. And I just realized reading your comment, I forgot to turn off my intro. Boom, ha! No second intro today. Okay. We Wild. If we were to have a natural event like the silly movie 2012, which mountain range will become the tallest? Will the Himalayas stay the tallest? Yeah. I mean, the only way the Himalayas cannot be the tallest would be if they like collapsed. If they just rolled down the hill and there was no more Himalayas. Yeah, they'd still be the tallest, unless like we mowed them down or something. Corey Jones, what up, Houston? Did you hear about the hiker who just found a 4,000-year-old pyramid in northern Lebanon? What? How? Lebanon's so tiny. How do you miss a pyramid? Looks like a rock to me. Go there. Go there. Click on that. Go there. Done. Looks like a rock. I don't know how they determined it was a pyramid. Well-preserved ancient megalith burial has been discovered in northern Lebanon. While hiking in the village Akram, Akkar district, northern Lebanon, the Environmental Council's mountain guide came upon a pyramid-shaped megalith burial on the highest grounds of the Wadi di El Diar. 3-meter high structure, well preserved, untampered with, despite its age. Oh, there's a little pathway. That does look like a little pathway there. White limestone, a couple of pyramidal straight. So lots of megaliths up there. So this is just a new one. So it's not like a stacked. No, go away. Not like a stacked pyramid, but it's like a rock that's shaped in a kind of a pyramid shape. You can't see that it has 4-ish sides. It's a piece of limestone, so it's gonna erode a lot more easily than other rocks. Huh. All right, I can see how that one would get missed. That would just look like a rock to me. I wouldn't have known to look for that as some sort of burial megalith. It's a little guy. It's 9 feet tall. So it's not like a colossal that somebody missed. But, yeah. Okay. Bleh, 8319. Can you explain options gamma and gamma squeeze? Okay, so gamma is basically when a bunch of options are suddenly in the money and there has to be purchase of shares by the option sellers to cover their obligations, which causes the price to go up, which pushes more options into the money. Make sense? So gamma squeeze is, imagine if today the stock for some reason shot up 20% and a whole bunch of options went in the money, right? A lot of those options were sold naked, meaning someone sold those options not having any of the shares whatsoever to cover their obligation. But they've got 2 days from when those options are exercised in order to go out and get those shares to provide them to the buyers. So if that stock were to have gone in the money, or those options have gone in the money, then they would have until basically Tuesday next week to buy as many shares as they can to cover their obligation. But the problem is that all that buying causes the price to rocket even more, which puts even more options in the money, which means they've got to go out and buy more shares to cover the next Friday's options. And once those things close in the money, they go, oh my gosh, we didn't finish doing this. The next week they got to do it again. So it can be this cycle that pushes the price higher and higher and higher and higher based upon how many naked options have been sold. And oftentimes it's a lot of them, especially when you see GameStop, last year would just rocket from like $140 to $350 all of a sudden. That would make the options guys shit their pants because they've got to go out and buy a bunch of stock and basically give it away for a loss. Because they're like, they sold, I'll sell an option at 170. The stock will never get to 170. Collect that cash, put it away, and all of a sudden the stock's at $200. They go, oh no, I'm going to lose $30 every single share that I buy for these 100 shares. And, there goes $3,000 off of every single option they just sold. Yeah. Jimmy D, did you seriously just steal my steroids? Jimmy, I told you guys, I put it on real quick. I was a doughy 205 3 weeks ago. I went down to 202, and now I'm back up to 209, baby, and it's solid. I beefcake real quick. I can lose it just as fast though. I can lose this sucker in a week, and then it's all gone. But by fall, I will be a giant piece of desirable meat. And Jimmy D, you're just gonna have to just use your imagination. Until then. Okay. Or was I in the row of questions here? All right. There's the 4,000-year-old pyramid. First name, last name, Houston. Thoughts on lucid dreaming? Thanks to you, I got into investing and understand the markets. Keep teaching rocks and return investment. Yeah. Lucid dreaming. I sometimes lucid dream even if I don't mean to. I can find I've got decent control in my dreams. There are people who actively practice lucid dreaming and they're just like flying around like superheroes and do whatever. But they like put an effort into that. I don't. But sometimes I'm in a dream like, you know what? I'm dreaming right now. I'm going to ignore all any anxiety, anxiousness that's happening, and I'm going to go like do what I want to do. But then other times I have no clue I'm dreaming, and I get, the anxiety dream. The anxiety dreams I have, I don't have too many of them or too regularly, but like the common one I have is, for some reason, like I did algebra when I was in middle school. So I didn't do any of the high school algebra. I was like in the advanced math classes. So by the time I was like a sophomore in high school, I'd finished calculus and everything, and there's no more math to take. So I have this anxiety dream where I am in a graduate program, and then I get this letter from my high school. It's like, you never took algebra from us. Therefore, we're rescinding your high school diploma, which means all of your undergraduate and graduate degrees, they don't count anymore, and you have to go back to high school as a 41-year-old and finish algebra. And me trying to be like, but I did it in 8th grade. I don't have to do high school algebra. I did it. I've done partial differential equations. I've done number theory. I've done it all. And they're like, no, you have to do high school algebra or else. And then I find myself like in high school algebra, like a class that I've been teaching for 12 years. I've got to go take it now in order to like have my high school diploma qualify again. It's a weird anxiety dream. And then another one I get is a holdover from restaurant days. I worked in this one bar, and I had this recurring dream where the bar owners bought another bar in another town. It's kind of similar, like on the water and a pub. And they had me like, we need you to go manage this one so you can turn this bar into like our other bar at home, like make them kind of similar. It's like, no problem. And the bar opens up and we're having a great day. Then we discover that there's like a downstairs with another 100 tables and I didn't know I was supposed to staff anybody for down there. And there's just like hundreds of guests all angry that no one's coming to their table and filling their waters and taking their order. And I'd have that one a few times. But I think that's the only 2 versions of anxiety dreams that I have. Can't think of others. But yeah, lucid dreaming. Take control of your dreams, I guess. And I wonder what lucid dreaming does to your subconscious, though. Like, if your dream state is your subconscious trying to work through stuff, and you don't allow it to work through stuff because you're like too busy being Superman and like having sex with supermodels or whatever. What does that do to your subconscious? Does your subconscious ever get to work this stuff out? I don't know. It's a good question. Huh. All right. Anyway, moving on. First name, last name, dip for the rip. Yeah. Shorts eat cat dookie. Paratarian got my shares, but the shorting today was infuriating. Split ends are supposed to scare shorts. They literally just synthetic their way through everything with no notifications. What the fuck? They seem to do that. Yeah. That's their one trick, is they just short and then they get in trouble and they go, I'll just trade my trouble with you. But they don't really seem to have to eat as much cat dookie as they should. And the SEC really needs to crack down on that. They need to actually do something rather than be like, we're looking at all the options. Dude, we saw the options. We figured out what was going on. You guys have more access to information than we do. Just do something. It's not that hard. Just do it. Just say no more swaps. Just say no more naked shorting. Just say pay the fuck up. Like, if your market makers have $70 billion in securities sold but not yet delivered, and that grows every single year, all you have to say is, hey, market maker, you have 6 months to make good on the $70 billion securities you owe. Or else, we take your market maker status. And then from that point forward, say, hey, market makers, whenever you have a security not yet delivered, it goes onto a clock that you can't trade with anybody, and you have 1 week to figure your shit out and provide that security that you sold. There should not be a superpower for anybody, anywhere, that allows them to sell things that don't exist. That's a crime. It'd be a crime if I did it. So why do they get the waiver to do it? Makes me angry. First name, last name, Houston. Got any photos of you playing baseball back in the day? Oh man, it's all like pre-digital. Somewhere. Probably like in a shoebox at my mom's house. I'll try to find some. I might have... Do I have... No. I think it might be... I'm trying to think. I have like... I think there's pictures of me in Little League somewhere that might be in this house. One sec. Well, I didn't take it out of a box, so I don't know. I don't know where they would be. I'll try to find something for you. I know there's one of me when I was at Lewis and Clark, leaning out of the dugout. I remember being framed, and I have no idea whose house it was in. It was one of my parents, maybe. Oh look, it's like me leaning over the dugout, like surveying the field. When you're not pitching, your entire job is to basically sit with a clipboard and chart pitches of the other pitcher. And So a lot of pictures of me in the dugout are just me like looking at a clipboard and being like, "Yep, that was a curveball. Check. That one was off speed. Check." Pretty exciting. All right. There's probably some in maybe. Oh, but that would have been later. That would be the 4th of July charity games, post my actual playing days. But I'll find some. All right. All right, Javi A, my puts on GME and SPY worked out. Now holding SPY. Puts over the weekend made back my Snap. Yeah, Snapchat got obliterated. Apparently, they lost like 80% of their user base, and the stock just fell off a cliff last night. The kids don't use Snapchat anymore, just horny, gross people do. And everyone's on TikTok. And then I wonder what's going to happen to TikTok when the U.S. government finally goes, you know what? These Chinese government types who own TikTok are doing really squirrely stuff with our citizens' data, and we don't like it. And they're going to go delete. And TikTok's going to vanish, and then somebody else is going to move in and take over the TikTok space. I don't know who it will be. I mean, it could have been Twitter. Twitter bought Vine. Vine was TikTok before TikTok, and they just erased it. Like, why? Why would you buy a highly successful company that had a growing service and then just delete it from existence? For what? And then the Chinese came in with the exact same model and kicked ass at it. I don't understand. It was 9 years ago they bought Vine and then deleted it. Okay. Next week might be bad due to the economic news being released. I fear even for GME. There's going to be a lot of bad economic news coming out, quite a bit, over and over and over. First name, last name. I love your long-winded stories. Please tell more. Well, kids, sit down and let me tell you a time about. No, yeah, guys, I need a prompt for a long-winded story. Filthy NZ, lots of reports of brokers selling shares and buying back Forex due to not receiving dividend. All through dark pools, I bet. Market flooded with more synthetics. You would have thought that the buying pressure from that would have, like, done something with the price. Yeah. It's, in, like, Saxo, it happened with Saxo, it appears that the viewer who's sending me stuff, it appears that their like tax liability went from long to short again. So like Saxo screwed them over on doing that because they weren't getting the shares. So I would be screaming at my broker, telling them to like fudge the report and make it long again. But yeah, because it gets their statement looks like they're the ones who sold it, not their broker. Nicholas Minelli, Houston, can you please explain T plus 90 days and what happens after that? The T90 is essentially entered default. And if you enter default, that is liquidation time. So that's what we're looking at, like force buying. Like the broker takes your money, takes the hedge fund's money, and buys shares to cover their obligation. And so we're looking at that T90 on this share deal because a lot of brokers, I think, were putting synthetics into people's accounts to basically keep the clients from screaming at them about where are my shares. But those synthetics are IOUs from the hedge fund who sold the original synthetic, the original fake share. And oftentimes we see in squirrely deals like this where the QSIP changes and stuff that that T90 is when it rockets. So we saw it with Tesla, we saw it with Apple, we saw it with Newegg, a couple other plays. So we're looking about 3 months. So October 22nd, somewhere around there. Hopefully, fingers crossed, moon time. Let's moon it. Chris R. Houston, how'd you like seeing the shorts panic and push the price down? They're going to do it. They're going to do it whenever chance they get. BOFH, time to sell some far out of the money cover calls to the 950 weeklies crowd. Yeah. Make a couple bucks here and there. Why not? Where are we going here? William Morgan says the Evergrande CEO and CFO are stepping down after probe into property services. China also had tanks guarding banks because people were angry that they couldn't get their money out of their banks, and they sent a bunch of tanks down there to chase them away. So, you know, things are healthy. Things are going well in China, obviously. William Morgan, public pensions face worst funding decline since Great Depression. Bloomberg funding ratio to drop 77.9%, losing half of 2021 gains. Yeah. When we saw BlackRock is down 1.7 trillion just in 6 months, which is literally enough to fund the entire United States government for 6 months. So, that's a lot of money to vanish. Just out there. Every single dollar that the Fed and the government spent battling the impending depression that would have been caused by COVID is gone now. It's gone. So the $30 trillion that they spent through PPP, extended unemployment, through bailouts of companies, through quantitative easing, and that they just dumped trillions of dollars in cash into the market to buy up securities and keep the prices high. It's all gone. Every penny gone. So it's as if we never did it, but now we owe all that money. So, woo! Good job. Good job, folks. Okay. Chad Clifford, happy birthday. Eat cake. Question. Is the universe infinite? If so, how do we know? Possibly. We don't know. And there's no way to know. All we can do with the universe is we can only see to where we can't see anymore. And how that works is basically one of two things. One, the universe is expanding. So something that's on the far end of the universe from us looks like it's expanding at greater than the speed of light, so we can no longer see it. And then there is a wall we hit where all that stuff has redshifted so much that we can't see it anymore, but it blends in with what we call the cosmic microwave background radiation, which is essentially the hot fuzz that the universe was at the Big Bang. Just a bunch of heat and energy. And that heat and energy has redshifted away from us, so now it's in this microwave band, but wherever we look, we hit this wall of that microwave signal, and we just can't see past that. We can kind of guess and estimate how big the universe is based upon like the cone we think we occupy, because we can only see kind of in this traffic cone of light. And imagine more traffic cones around us. The universe is a much grander, bigger thing, but we can only see this little bit of it. And 90 billion light years across, perhaps. Yeah. But we can only see 13.7, 13.8 billion. Okay. Yeah, and William Morgan also sent this one to me earlier. A Hyundai subsidiary got busted having like 12-year-olds work their plant, like the metalworks plant. They had a whole bunch of kids working that place, and they are hopefully getting a lot of trouble for it. Yeah. Okay. Stephen Marr, Houston, what's the best relationship advice, romantic, friends, family? Knowing your worth. That's probably an important first step. Like, years ago, I was dating this girl. It was like 2000, something. We had a really hot summer, and tomatoes were growing really well for everybody. So my best friends decided that they were going to have like an heirloom tomato exchange party, just an excuse to get together and they could drink beer. And so I brought this girl I was dating along, and we get to my best friend's house, and my best friend is he's the head brewer of a brewery, and he's also just an amazing do-it-yourself engineer. Like, he built his own CNC machine, his own 3D printer, his own, like, he just built his own skis, and built his own kayaks and boats and furniture, just awesome shit. And so, I took a little tour of the house and like showed her the cool stuff he had done. And then we get out into the yard and everyone's having their little party, and she's meeting people who are like professional skiers, and a guy who is like a weatherman for the local news station, and then somebody who owns a mountaineering company, and just some rad people. And she like did not say a word. Like, for hours we're at this party, and she just silently was like shook people's hands and nodded and just never said anything. And we're driving back to the ferry terminal, and I'm like, dude, you haven't said anything. Like, penny for your thoughts? And she just said, your friends are all really nice and they do really cool things. My friends are all assholes and they don't do anything. And I was like, why are they your friends? She's like, I don't know, I've just known them since I was like 5. I was like, well, you don't have to hang out with them. Like, you're an adult. You don't have to hang out with assholes just because you've known them for a long time. You can be like, you know what? I don't like you as a human being. I'm going to go find friends who fulfill me and make me feel good and wanted and loved. And that's your power as an adult. And, it's terrible advice for our relationship, because she was like, well, I'm quitting my job and I'm going to do what I want to do. And she like moved to Hawaii. I was like, oh, all right, do your thing. But you have to know your worth. You have to like look at the folks around you and see if they're the ones that you want to spend time with. If like you're in a relationship and that relationship just gives you anxiety, then you're in the wrong relationship. And it's so weird that like people see the relationships with people as an investment because of the time that's spent doing it. So you can have two people that have been dating for a long time and obviously just cannot stand each other, but they've invested all this time, therefore they like have to make it work, because if they break up, then they lost everything, lost all that time for no reason. And then they end up like getting married because they feel like they have to. They've been dating for 5 years, they might as well just get married, and they have a miserable marriage and they raise some miserable kids, and they should have just gone for happiness in the first place. Like, you don't have to settle with people just to like, I don't know, occupy that niche. I don't know. Like, sometimes it's better to be by yourself until you find somebody who gives you that butterflies every single day. Like, you don't have to be like, well, that's the only person who likes me, or they sort of like me, or they say tolerate me, or they're willing to spend time with me. Like, you don't need that. You don't need that in your life. Go be happy. Figure out how to make yourself happy by yourself, and then find that person who doesn't just like complete you, but makes you excited about getting up every day. When you see them, you're like, woohoo! One of my dear friends, their parents have been married for 50 something years, and I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, I'm working in this bar, and the husband came in. And I was like, hey, man, how's it going? And he sits in the patio, and I set up a table for two. And because I was expecting his wife, like, in the restroom or something. And he got really sad, like, super sad, because his wife was on vacation, and she's going back, like, to her hometown, was, like, taking care of an elderly parent or something. And he got really sad because he missed his wife so much. They've been married for 40 years at this point. And he's like, oh, I'm just going to go home. Like, I like ruined his dinner because I just assumed that his wife was going to be with him, and he was so sad that she was gone. And that's the type of feeling that, you might want with somebody. And if them leaving makes you go, whew, man, I can like breathe easy for a week, then you're definitely in the wrong relationship. Yeah. So I don't really know I'm going past that relationship thing, but even like family members, if you have a family member who's a complete asshole, You don't have to like spend time with them. You don't. You'd be like, you're an asshole. There's no fixing you. I'm done with you. We don't have to see each other or talk because you make my life miserable, and I'm not going to give you the power of making my life miserable. You don't have to do it. There are tons of people who have to learn that lesson the hard way, and oftentimes it's people who are LGBTQ, and they may come out to their family, and their family cuts them off. And it's like, you're going to hell, get out of this house, and they find themselves on the street when they're 14 or something. Those folks learn that the hard way, and they've got to sort of hopefully build their own family, their new family. There's a goofy slogan I saw in someone's kitchen once that was like, friends are the family you choose. And that's, it's kind of true. I know it's a hokey slogan, but like, your friends should make you better. And that is what families should do as well. Like, there should be some sort of safety net in your relationships that when something goes wrong, they're there to like at least give you a little nudge or to help you or something. Because everyone knows that life doesn't always go according to plan, and that sometimes you fall flat in your face. And without that support system, you're screwed. And a lot of people who are on the streets, it's because they weren't fortunate enough to have a support system. And it may have been that their friends and family are just a bunch of assholes. And they weren't really their friends. And their family wasn't really their family. So find those folks who make you better as a person. And you do your best to make them better. There. That's the end of my speech. Okay. Michael Steegs. Did you see the FUD on MT Newswire via Webull about poor performing NFT tokens? Also, how can one buy full price yesterday and not get dividend? Well, everyone was saying if you bought full price yesterday, you'd receive the dividend. So, how you didn't? That deserves some phone calls to a broker and some screaming. I don't care how you do it. Put those things on my account, you sons of bitches. And that's how you should do it. But I did not see the thing on MT Newswire about poor performing NFT tokens. NFTs in general are poor performing right now. The honeymoon is kind of over for the $10 million monkey picture. So, although I did read about somebody on the GME marketplace sold 200 ETH of super stonk memes, and then they disappeared, and then GME said no more things related to super stonk or with GME in the name can be sold in our marketplace. But I don't know. I have to look up the MT Newswire thing. There, Michael. I don't know enough about it. I haven't seen it. Okay. Carlos R. What's good, Senior Wade? So if this cannabis law gets passed, in your opinion, is Sundial, Tilray, and High Tide still good company play? Good compound play? Yep. And basically, that sucker will ride the law. So when it gets passed and it gets signed, woo, flying high. That's when you sell. And it'll climb right back down again. And then there'll be rumors about earnings. That's when you buy in. And when they announce their earnings, that's when you sell. But yeah, those cannabis stocks are worth a lot more the minute that stuff is legal and able to trade and be taxed. And all those companies can finally use bank accounts, which is a big thing. Like, there is, in Washington State, there's something like 10 or 11 billion dollars in cash being housed in secure warehouses from all the pot shops in Washington because they can't use banks. So they get all this cash, they do all these transactions in cash, and then they gotta do something with it. And they can't deposit it into a bank, so they have to pay a secured warehouse to house tens of billions of dollars in cash from all these companies. Otherwise, it's going to fill up their houses and the backyard and everything else. We've all seen that scene in, what was it, Blow with Johnny Depp, where like this cash is just stacked in all these rooms. It happens. If you can't use a bank and you are in a high cash business such as dealing drugs, you are going to have so much of it. Yeah, a friend of mine does security. Like his job is they go from a secure warehouse where the pot is, and they put it in their armored car with the gun turret, electrified door handles, and all that stuff, and they take it to the pot shop, and they take the pot, They go to like secured area, take the pot, give it to the pot shop. The pot gives them bricks of cash. They put it into the truck. That truck ferries it to a secure cash warehouse or whatever, drops that off, and they go pick up like this through the cycle, this triangle between pot warehouses, cash warehouses, and pot dealerships or dealerships, stores, whatever. It's terrifying. And then a lot of pot shops are getting robbed now because people know that there's going to be oodles of cash available. They go in, they rob the place, take the cash boxes, walk out with 50 grand or 100 grand or whatever, and the cops don't do anything about it. No one does anything about it. So getting banking available for these guys is going to be a big deal. Can you imagine you're a pot shop, you do $20 million a year in business, and you have to pay your taxes. You have to pay like $7 million in taxes in cash. Like, hey IRS, here's a duffel bag, thunk, and here's another one, thunk, and here's a third one, thunk. Covers my taxes, right? Totally creepy and weird. Bullish is Houston second intro. Just called my wife, told her I'm out. Thanks for the non-financial advice. Might not be financially feasible. Well, you know, whatever works for you works for you there, Bullish. But seriously, if you're feeling that anxiety and you're miserable, be happy, man. Be happy and make other people happy. William Morgan, Blockbuster, are back from the grave. And their stock went up 122% off the pink sheets. So, you know, zombie stocks riseth again. BW brand, Streamlabs is updating. He's going to be muted. They must have fixed that because I totally forgot to check and my microphone's working. I'm not seeing a whole bunch of screaming from people saying, you're muted. So maybe they finally fixed that glitch. Maybe that was the update. Okay. FJRP, or FJR Pilot, North Carolina, SQQQ calls for next Friday. Get it. Get it while you can. Job growth slowing. Yep. We had big layoffs from Ford this week. Unemployment is up for the first time in 8 months. So we're starting to get back to an economy that's no longer supported by the government, making sure that all hell doesn't break loose. But at the same time, polio is back. Woohoo! We got a couple of cases of polio in New York, first cases in over a decade. And monkeypox just spread to children for the first time. So our first child cases of monkeypox. And monkeypox in children is really bad. Most of the deaths from monkeypox come from those who have immune disorders like AIDS or transplants or whatever. But like 3 to 10% of children can die from monkeypox. And monkeypox is not... The news keeps talking about how it's sexually transmitted. No. It can be in linens, clothes, on surfaces for weeks. Get weird, gross kids who are like, what's this pustule? And they pick at it and they touch stuff. And that sucker could sit on a surface for 3 weeks. And I think monkeypox getting into the schools is going to be gnarly. We all need to get that little scar that our parents have from their smallpox vaccination. Just be like your parents. We're gonna have to do a nationwide smallpox vaccination because the smallpox vaccine has an 85% efficacy with monkeypox. They're all cowpox, monkeypox, smallpox. They're all related to each other. They're all pretty similar genetically, but we're more than doubling the cases every week at this point, and that's just a slow, steady progression. And the quarantine for monkeypox is like 3 weeks. So expect, if this keeps going, we don't do anything about it, man, it's all because I'm about to sign a deal with a production company, and the entire world is going to shut down again and just screw me over and try to make a show. That's what's happening. It's just, these things are happening to the entire globe, all because I want to make a TV show, and I'm sorry, I apologize. Yeah. Okay. William Morgan, starting September 1st, people must start paying back student loans. Yep. The last couple of times we got close, they pushed it off again. This may be one of those things that Biden does. He may just perpetually push off student loans so that if it comes down to it and we have a Republican president and they all of a sudden go, nope, everyone's got to pay back student loans, people are going to like not want to vote for them. So there's like 25% of the population who will immediately not vote for a Republican candidate if it means paying back student loans. Just cancel the suckers. Just cancel them already and make public university tuition free. Just do it. It's cheaper. It's better. And you eliminate so many administrators. Like, all the administration heavy colleges that exist now are that way specifically to facilitate financial student aid. That's it. If we didn't have financial student aid, you wouldn't need all these administrators. Instead, you just, you want to come to the school and you qualify, you're in. And tuition is taken care of by the state. It would cost just as much as student loans do to the taxpayer. Same thing in the hospital system. We have 800,000 doctors and 2.6 million administrators. Those administrators exist solely to try and do the transactions between the insurance companies and the hospitals. If we just nationalized healthcare, made it universal, and everything was just taken care of, all those administrators would just disappear. It's gone. You have like 5 of them in a hospital rather than 100 of them trying to figure out how to get insurance companies to pay for stuff. Just taken care of. Done. Just like every other country in the world. You want to make things expensive? You create a system that has a whole bunch of administrators, and then boom, it's expensive. Okay. William Morgan. Jim Cramer liked Snap at 59. Now it's 10. Everything that dude touches dies. Okay. First name, last name. Put your retirement in a stable fund for now if you can. After the crash, move it back in. Yep. Gold mutual funds. Things that are stable. Invest in alcohol. Booze companies. Those always do well when the economy tanks as well. Ape Adam, still haven't gotten our shares in Canada. Call that hotline and tell GameStop you didn't get your shares. I don't remember what the number is. You'll see the posts out there. They want to know if there's shenanigans. Houston got my shares at Danish broker account this morning, but not my bank account. Phoned them and they said next week. Interesting. JM, did you sell some, get the shares, and buy more like you said? No, I was hoping that they were going to deliver after hours while the after hours ticker was still trading, and I didn't get it until after hours closed. So no, I didn't sell like I had hoped. Jimmy D. That's my boy, my star. I bought some GME on Webull, and something squirrely happened. I had one $35 share last night, that's screenshots, and 4 of those shares by market open. Very strange. Well, at least you got the 4 shares, right? Yeah. Jimmy D also says, with new price, excited to make weekly degen moves on GME, but the options chain is weird as fuck. Yeah, the option chain really weird. I got hosed on my Friday calls. I couldn't do anything with them. I kept trying to all right, I'll sell them because I didn't have enough money to exercise them, but I'll sell them. And my broker kept canceling. So poof. Like, what the hell? That's not how it's supposed to happen, right, big dog? Right, big dog? Okay. Bex, I still have my shares. Instead, I have GME placeholders. I can't sell them. An expected date to get actual shares July 26th. 26th is what? Tuesday? 26th. Yeah, next Tuesday. So your shares said, see you next Tuesday. All right. Magister Miltum per Oxidens. What does Blockbuster have left in terms of assets? I'm pretty sure a name, and that's probably it. I think there's only one Blockbuster left, isn't there? Like one in Oregon or something? Or one in Alaska. Something like that. Ah, dog, your hair. It's in my mouth. Get it out of my mouth. Yeah. How? I just talk, and then it's in the air, and it's in my freaking... Get out! Okay. Get gone. Okay. Oh. Still there. Ah, got it. Stupid friggin'. Just stop. Just be bald. Get some sort of wasting disease. Okay. Fiik. Nice button up shirt today. Thank you. A little classy. This is I don't know. I think it's a Goodwill find, but I think it's one of those shirts that was brand new that no one had ever worn. It's got like these little, almost like geometric seashells on it. I don't know how to describe these little things on here, but it's quaint. Reminds me of like a wallpaper in some old lady's farmhouse. Bill Coyne, the world economy is tipping. Yeah. I think this fall is going to be just one hell of a crash, personally. That people everything's going to run out of money. That everyone's is basically surviving on credit at this point, and it's all going to come due. And that's going to be that. We'll have to like climb our way out of this, and they're going to have to do some real magical work to keep everything from just crashing entirely. But I think it's going to crash entirely. Project Sun, I sold a property last year for a very fair amount, sight unseen. Yep. And now people are going to start demanding things like, people were able to sell places when the market was going bonkers the last couple of years. Sight unseen, waiving inspections and stuff like that. Now, people are going to demand inspections. They're going to demand concessions from the sellers, like, oh, I'll buy this house, but only if you fix the skylight, and if you change this and do this thing, and I'm going to give you $30,000 under asking, and it's be contingent upon whether I feel like I want to buy it in a week or not. That type of stuff is going to start happening. It's going to be a buyer's market, big time. Hey, dude, unnecessary. Jimmy D, my last week in Anchorage, I survived only by having a bike here to get around. Saw a bear and a moose fam yesterday on the way to med placement. They were cool with me being late. Seeing a moose while you're on a bicycle would be probably the most terrifying thing. That moose just look at you and be like, I'm going to fuck you up. Because the meese are liable to do that. They're huge. Moose are huge. They're like 3,000 pounds of antler, and they just want to go flip and just pierce you and throw you in the air 50 feet. I told you guys about when I saw a moose do a somersault, right? It's one of the most hilarious things I ever saw. There's a whole family of meese, a gaggle of meese. And I was with my friends. We were mining in Colorado, and we had left camp, gone to get some like dinner at a restaurant in town. We're driving back to camp, and a bull, a cow, and two calves were like crossing the dirt road, and there's one of those pine wood fences that, a couple of pine strips going back and forth, a couple of pine posts, and the calves both hop the fence and run away when they see the car, and the cow tried to hop the fence, caught her two front hooves on the front of it, and then just did a somersault over it. And I swear I could see that moose blush. And the huge bull, just like looked at his wife and just went, ugh, and then walked around the fence to where there was an opening. And he's just like, why I married this woman. I don't know what her deal is. But yeah, I saw like a 2,000 pound moose do a somersault. It's pretty amazing. Scott Poland, Houston, what is your opinion on buying property in a vacation area that doesn't have a house on it yet. Last lot unbuilt in the cool, climate change friendly part of USA. Not hot, has water. Do it. But not yet. Wait a year. Maybe 2. Unless you get just oodles of cash coming from GameStop at some point. But there's some spots like, if you start to watch bidforassets.com, you'll start to see when the economy goes in the tank, you'll start to see bank-owned properties sell for so cheap on there. I remember a couple years ago there was an abandoned development that had built the golf course, built a couple of houses, and then had all these lots on this lake in North Carolina that went unsold and the place went bankrupt. And I was looking at it and like, oh, North Carolina's really far away, just like trying to deal with something. But the lots were $1,000 each. You know, talking acre and a half, lakefront. And I should have done it. I should have just been like, oh, whatever. And now, you know, those lots are selling for $400,000, $500,000. The homes are selling for over $1 million. And that's like 8 years ago. So, don't listen to me. If it seems too good to be true and it's up for auction, get it, because it's going to be super cheap or super expensive later. Right, you big stinky dog? You're kind of stinky today. You know that? You are. You're kind of stinky today. Chance Wayne, have you read The Lords of Easy Money by Christopher Leonard about the Fed's quantitative easing policy from 2009 to present, resulting in asset inflation while widening the wealth gap? No, but it sounds like a good read. They have bought up too many assets. They bought up way too many assets. And coupling that with the fact that these corporations have been doing stock buybacks to also inflate their asset value has made the stock prices in a lot of these blue chips way too high. They should be a lot lower and tied to actual fundamentals and not to this what was the word I'm trying to look for, big dog? False scarcity. That's what I want to say, right? That works for you. Yeah. This false scarcity that they're sort of creating. And because the Fed hasn't stopped, they've got $8.9 trillion in securities they basically bought. And they keep saying, oh, we're gonna sell it all off. We're gonna sell it all off. And then each month they pack on more. They aren't selling it. They're just buying more every single solitary month. It's endless. And it's like this thing they can't stop doing. Eventually, the Fed's going to be the largest index fund in the entire world. They're going to own everything, and they're going to be too scared to sell any of it because the price will crash, and then all that stuff they bought will be worth nothing. Which is, I think, what they keep fearing is that they're like, oh, we'll sell $40 billion worth. Oh, no, the price is dropping. Got to buy more to protect the market from collapsing. You guys let the market collapse. You're just going to have to let it happen and then figure out what to do after that. Because right now, trying to keep it afloat is going to make it even worse. Every single day you don't let the sucker crash, it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. Lisa Clark also says she won't get her shares until Tuesday. Project Sun, lucid dreams make it hard to get solid rest, but they're badass. There you go. Okay. Jersey's got a World War II spot for me in Poland. Let's check it out. Oops, no, Google Earth. Shabam. Shaboom. Still another one's from last show. Not too far away. Hop, skip, and a jump. Shaboink. Where are we here? That's a big circle. The Die Glocke. What is this? What am I looking at? Oh, what? Why did we? What? Oh, there we go. Okay. Looks like a memorial or something. A whole bunch of military trucks. Ah, bunker. Okay, we got a bunker. So it looks like it's set up as a museum? What are you? What are you? Exit Street View. Show me Die Glocke. Purported top-secret Nazi scientific technology device, secret weapon, or Wunderwaffe. First described by Polish journalist Igor Witowski, it was later popularized by military journalist and author Nick Cook, as well as by conspiracy theory writers such as Joseph P. Farrell, and others associated with Nazi occultism and anti-gravity or free energy research. Mainstream reviews such as former aerospace scientist David Mirha expressed skepticism that such a device ever actually existed. Huh. I've never heard of this place. Wait, why did you... oh, there it is. Okay. Mainstream reviewers, recycle rumors and hoax, the Glock and other alleged Nazi miracle weapons have been dramatized in video games, television shows, and novels. I wonder if I recognize that thing from a video game from like Wolfenstein or something. The Glock's bell shape, about 12 feet, 3.7 meters high, and 9.7 meters in diameter, 9 meters in diameter. All right, this looks like an interesting conspiracy theory to look at. Die Glocke. Okay, all right. Well, that's gonna put me down a rabbit hole there, Jersey. So, huh? Where is this? Come on, give me. We are in. Are we in Poland? I go north. I can't tell where the hell I am. Right, so just over the border from Czech Republic in Poland. Interesting. All right. When I come visit you, we'll go check that out. I'm curious as to what the hell that thing is. I never knew about it. I'll learn something new. Thank you. Thank you for that. I like it when I'm sent something I don't know about. Die Glocke. Eric Chan sold my shares a minute after close. No dividend given, but sold a decent price and will buy in lower. There you go. I mean, price went down, so if you do buy in, you're gonna end up with more shares than you would have gotten if you'd just been given them, I guess. Scott Poland, Eric Chan, FYI, if you rebuy in within 30 days, it is considered a wash sale and does not reset your cost basis. There you go. Or you can take that money, put it in a different brokerage, and do it there. There's that too. Okay. Vanilla Gorilla, Lucid Dreams. Ask yourself 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day, am I dreaming? Touch, taste, listen, pinch yourself, and open the neural pathway to your brain that asks the question, am I dreaming? All right. FJR pilot. In your algebra dream, did you go use a toilet? Thank goodness, not yet. Never use a toilet in your dreams. Ever. If one's offered to you, be like, no thank you. I don't need to go right now. That's what the part of the power of lucid dreaming will take over, is you being able to say, I'm not going to use that. Because no one wants to do that laundry later. Okay. William Morgan, am I Moessing? Okay. All right. Looking for questions. Scott Poland, Houston, I will be a FINRA arbitrator soon. We'll report back with some info. What can legally be shared? Ooh, I'm curious. What does it take to become a FINRA arbitrator, and what do you do as a FINRA arbitrator? That would be interesting. Yeah, tell me what's happening with that. I would love to know. I'm Ron Burgundy. Tom Richter, how long for GME to get to 100? I think it can double. I think it has the potential to double even before we get to the October force buying. That they'll push it down. Once we get one skyrocket out of it, then another can come. Think about it this way. The price right now is basically where we were in February last year. In February last year, it went from $40 to $350 in 5 weeks. So, why not? I don't see a reason why not. If Bitcoin can be worth $20,000 to $60,000 a coin and it provides absolutely nothing, you own nothing, then why can't this stock go absolutely bonkers? There's nothing keeping it from doing that except shenanigans. Shenanigans is the only thing. SEC needs to make a rule, no more shenanigans, and then we're fine. Guaranteed. Fern Marquez? Marquez. Be big, Lomo equals TikTok. Word. JD from the 80s. Happy birthday, Houston. Do you know what would happen if I were to transfer to computer share and then back to Fidelity as far as ownership goes? No. I don't know. Yeah. Project Sun, Vine shut down because it failed to support its content creators due to high levels of competition, lack of monetization, advertising options, personal turnover, as well as issues parent company Twitter. Yeah, so the solution would have been figure out how to put ads in there. Done. Vine figured it out. Oh no, sorry, TikTok figured it out. Instagram figured it out. YouTube figured it out. But Twitter could not figure it out. Man, some of the Vine compilation videos from back in the day, just these 5-second jokes that one dude would do 100 of them for like half an hour. They're so funny. I could watch those things all day long. Okay. And I just lost my spot. Here we go. Okay. All right. Where were we? We were further down. There's the wrong burgundy. There's the Vine one. There we go. Okay. Okay. Dame Horatia, does that mean it's pointless buying more GME shares as it makes no difference to the price? Will GME ever squeeze, or do the hedge funds have more up their sleeves? The hedge funds only ever had one thing up their sleeves, and that's short. Short. We have to keep shorting, keep this price down. Then when the bill comes due, we do swaps. Swap. The problem is, I think, when you're facing default for not providing shares that are due as dividends, and like in this case, that you can't swap. And that's why we see at 90 days these huge price increases happen for things like Tesla, is that they weren't able to swap their way out of it. They may try to short it down as low as they can so that when they are forced to buy, they buy it back at cheaper prices than they hope. But they still got to buy from us, and we still have to be willing to sell. And if we aren't willing to sell, up it goes. And that's where we are. Can anyone direct me to the Houstoneer dog training channel? Oh, you're looking for Pet Pals Tennessee. Josh. I don't know. Let's see if he sent me his YouTube. Let me look here. I'm getting Josh Pedals here. No, I want YouTube. YouTube search. Yeah. Pet Pals Tennessee. Is this what I'm looking? Yeah, here we go. All right. I will do. Is this his channel? That's a channel. Copy. Here's Josh's channel here. Shabam, shabam, shabam. Put in the chat there. So look, he'll do the dog training videos. He does some cool stuff. So look him up. Check him out. All right. Oh, super chats. Justin, my head. You're the man, HW. Can you put the size of GME's new float and retail ownership into context compared to AMC or other companies? The new float is 304 million, I think. AMC is 513 million. So it's still, 3/5 the size of AMC. Retail ownership, I'm not sure what retail ownership's at right now, or what's reported. Morningstar GME. Let's see what Morningstar has a report at. Quote, chart, financials, ownership. That's what I want. Let's go there. Let's go get rid of that. Okay. So, this is funds report at 10 million shares. Institutions report at 18 million shares. I don't know if this has been corrected for the dividend yet. This is probably old data because this is probably last updated last quarter. So we're at 30 million shares of a 50 million float reported to be owned by institutions, funds institutions. So that's impossible. Like, it's got to be synthetics everywhere if that's the case. And Ortex had it like 86% borrow, short reporting, short interest reporting. So, what retail owns? I mean, we have to go by surveys to be able to figure that out. And those surveys are fairly scientific, but they do have a large margin of error. But that looks like that, we had 1 billion or so shares in the United States as claimed ownership, which means there's now 4 billion if post-dividend. That's a ridiculous number. That's a lot. That's just in the U.S., not counting folks in Europe, elsewhere that own shares. It's estimated that nations like Germany and Canada own the entire float just in their populations. So there's a lot of claimed ownership of this stock, big time. Vanilla Gorilla, happy birthday, brother. Well, thank you, Vanilla Gorilla. Scott Pollen. Oh, there's your link for FINRA. Cool. All right, let's click on that. Yes, I want to leave. Okay, become a FINRA arbitrator. New dimension to your career. All right. What are FINRA arbitrators? Oh, you guys can't see. What are FINRA arbitrators? FINRA arbitrators are a diverse cross-section of dedicated individuals serving the investing public and the securities industry by resolving securities-related disputes. FINRA arbitrators have a minimum of 5 years professional experience and 2 years of college credits. They are neutral, well-qualified, essential to maintaining a fair, impartial, efficient system of dispute resolution. Okay. FINRA arbitrators receive an honorarium for each regular session they attend, typically $600 per day or $725 per day for arbitrators serving as chairpersons. For cases filed on or after April 19, 2021, chairpersons receive an initial $250 for each hearing day, for a total of $850 for a typical hearing day, and an additional $125 for each pre-hearing conference. Okay. So there you go. Apply, folks. Click on that sucker. Click on that link Scott Pollen gave you, and if you feel like you qualify, apply. How many hearings are people expected to do a year as these arbitrators? Because these are part-time. This is a part-time role, so I expect maybe you get assigned to an arbitration case a couple times a year. I don't know. Recommend diversity. Where will I serve? 69 locations. Okay. At least one in each state. Disqualification criteria. Let's figure out which one of you degenerates won't qualify. Pending actions. So, if investment-related civil action against you, can't do that. Subject of claims or complaints. Last 10 years. File statement of claim or complaint. Final decisions, awards. Arbitration subject of a party. Director's judgment. So the director may just be like, no, you can't be one. Okay. Critical permit disqualification. Misstatement of mission. Disciplinary actions. Fraud. Decisions or awards of involving discrimination or harassment. And the director's judgment. Okay. So as long as you guys haven't basically been involved with FINRA before, you sounds like you can be open to being... Doesn't say anything about, like, you know, being a convicted murderer in here as being a disqualification. So if you have yourself one hell of a felony rap sheet but doesn't involve fraud, get in there. Although the director's judgment may preclude you from doing that. All right. Okay. Let's get in here. Owen Saunders, Houston, you're a legend. That's all, pal. If you ever make it to Wales, me and Ronnie would love to take you some badass castles. Hell yeah. Let's go. I need to do monkey butt. I need to get monkey butt dog passport, and then she and I will do like a backpacking trip through Europe or something, and adventure. We'll do an adventure that way, and I'm gonna see all you freaks that live out there. James Heb, Houston, or Heb. Houston, Australia only has 25 million people, and I know so many with shares. Wouldn't surprise me if there are millions down under. I believe it. I think there's so many people with GameStop shares everywhere that it's just, you know, if 1% of the population, right, has 10 shares each. I'm talking global. Let's do the calculator time. Let's whip out that calculator. Where are you? I gotta turn you off. There we go. Calculator's up. All right. So we have 8 billion people on Earth, right? We want to know 0.01. That's 80 million. 80 million people, and they all have 10 shares each. So that's 800 million shares. Just if 1% of the population on planet Earth has it, which is twice what or more than twice what the actual authorized amount are. But here's the thing. Those people had 10 shares prior to the dividend split. Now they have 3.2 billion. Now they have 10 times, more than 10 times the amount of shares that are the authorized number of shares that are in existence. Right? That's just if 1% of the population had 10 shares to begin with each, on average. Now they have 3.2 billion shares among that 1% of the population. That doesn't seem unreasonable to me at all, to have that many people involved in this, having that many shares around the world. I could buy it. Okay. Mark Sloan, I was wondering why in my Canadian TD account I got my split shares listed as temp, and a friend of mine had a notice that he's not receiving his until next week. Interesting. Shenanigans, Mark. It's shenanigans everywhere. It's raining shenanigans. It's raining shenanigans. Chris R. Houston, have you heard about how when we measure the universe, it is flat, suggesting it is a lot bigger than we initially thought? I think the universe is way bigger than we initially thought. I think the problem is we can only see so far, and then that's it. We just can't see any further. Michael Harrow, James Webb Space Telescope found a new comet. They pointed towards Earth. They filmed it and apparently flew past Washington, D.C. It was traveling fast, named it Halley's Comet. People are ripping on Hawley so bad for his video of him, like, his little run. Good times. You got Steve Bannon got convicted, so he's looking at jail. So there's that. Steve Bannon's going to jail, as he should have been several times over at this point. All right. Chance Wayne, especially given this latest heat wave, once you get buff at the gym, will you be broadcasting your show shirtless? I might be willing to do a charity show shirtless. You know, if you guys make it rain for some charity that supports people, I'd be willing to do one. I did last time I was buff and strong. I hosted a charity trivia night at a local wine bar, and one of the ladies paid like $1,000 if I do the rest of the event shirtless, and I was like, all right, I'll help orphans for $1,000. So yeah, I did it shirtless in the wine bar, and my parents were there, and they were like, oh my god, I can't believe this is our child. yeah. Hey, I'll raise money if it helps people. Pacific Northwest Texan, do you think the flying spaghetti monster will be visible from Earth soon? Yep. I'm touched by his noodly appendage. Okay. Alright, we're getting to the point where I ranted about relationships. Yeah, just be good to yourself, be good to others, and if they're bad to you, you know what? You don't. Life's too short, dude. Just, like, I have a simple rule, and I'm a total square, so I don't drink or do drugs or anything like that, but I don't care if other people do. They can do whatever they want. It's their life. I have a simple rule, and that is I am not friends with mean drunks. If you're going to drink, and it turns out you're an asshole when you drink, I'm just not going to hang out with you. Because why do I have to deal with that? I don't want to deal with that. So, but if you're a happy drunk, I don't care. You're nice to me, nice to other people, you're loving, whatever, cool. But if this demon comes out when you drink, we're not gonna be friends. Life's too short to have to deal with that crap. You can go be miserable in a cave somewhere. I don't care. But it's not my job to like try and get you to climb out of that misery hole. That's on you, man. Nick Jacobson, HW, thanks for your channel. Can you please explain again how Saxo screwed their clients? I'm having game shares in Saxo myself. Apparently, Saxo yesterday sold everyone shares without asking them, and then bought back in today, and that's how they got 4 times the shares. The problem is that on the statements, it's listed as if the clients sold the shares and basically killed their tax status and bought back in. So essentially as a wash sale. So that's how they're screwed. I would yell if that's the case with yours, Nick. If you look at your statement, it shows that you sold those shares and then bought back in. Call them and yell and demand to have your statement changed, because you don't want to pay taxes on it. You don't want to have to get screwed by any of that. Okay. Protege, son, I don't know what this laser thing's about. By shining a laser pulse sequence inspired by the Fibonacci numbers at atoms inside a quantum computer, physicists have created a remarkable, never-before-seen phase of matter. The phase has the benefits of 2 time dimensions despite there still being only one singular flow of time. I have no idea what that's about. You have to send me that article because I never heard of that. I know 4 phases. You have solid, liquid, gas, plasma. I don't know of any other phase of matter. Chris Hamburg, how is minimum cost to borrow always negative for AMC? How does that make sense? Doesn't make sense. Like, come on down to Al's house of stocks for borrowing. I'll pay you for the first 1,000 shares you borrow. I don't know how they do that or why they would do that. Okay. chance way and people settle because they fear loneliness more. I get that. I do. I get that. And that loneliness is, I don't know if it's a need to have a person entertain you or something, but there's something about companionship and about having somebody to like snuggle with and put your arm around and be there and share experiences with. But if all those experiences are just miserable, then are you really benefiting? Get a dog. get a cat. And then work at finding somebody who's going to meet you where you are. Chakuseki, spent my week traveling from Vancouver to Banff. Interesting facts about glacial lakes and the mountain ranges here that you can share. Thanks, bro. Well, heck, you're going through the Belt Supergroup, which there's a different name for it. Like it hits the border and it changes names when it gets to Canada. But essentially, it is an uplifted basin and range where you're looking at from the peak of the mountain to the bottom of the valley, upwards of like 1.5 billion years in time. You will find ocean sediments, you will find dinosaur bones, you will find all sorts of things loaded in there because at one time it was the coast. And as the continent moved and smashed into more islands and seamounts, it got built up, and the Rocky Mountains formed, and 40 million years ago, the west coast of the United States, or Pacific Northwest, formed from big lava lakes and accreting islands and things like that. You get to like Banff itself. What is the name? What do they call it in Canada when the Belt Supergroup gets to Canada? Belt Supergroup Canada. Oh, I wrote Belt Supergroup. Okay, they call it, here we go, Purcell Supergroup. That's what they call it when it gets to Canada. So it's the Belt Supergroup in like Idaho and Montana. Oh, you can't see that because that's the calculator. Dope. There we go. It is the Belt Supergroup in the U.S. and it's Purcell Windermere Supergroup when you get into Canada. So Banff, I think, is right on the border-ish. I think Banff is technically a Windermere Supergroup, which it was a layer of rock. Oh, is Windermere older or younger? Shit, I can't remember. That doesn't help. That's Idaho. Yeah, Purcell and then Windermere Group. They're all part of the same supergroup that makes up basically the big chunk of the Northern Rockies. And they're all ancient seafloor that got pushed and jig-jagged and uplifted and worn away. And then periods that during the uplift when it was out of the water, and then you had dinosaurs and other creatures that get caught into those various rocks. But most of it's sedimentary. The vast majority of it's sedimentary. Lots of minerals to be found. Lots of gold. Here you go. Here's Glacier National Park showing the cross section here. So this is the chunk that kind of got pushed on top, accreted onto the main continent and uplifted. And so this is like all ocean floor. They got uplifted and pushed up, and the rocks were made over it. You can't really quite read this one, but you have these like Mesozoic, Paleozoic, and Precambrian rock that's on the continent, and then this is all the Precambrian overthrust from the islands and seafloor that got pushed up and over, and to make those mountains. That's kind of looking at. There was lots of gold mining in and around the Banff area. Lots of mines, and silver and copper and a bunch of metals. But you can find other gemstones. There's lots of metamorphic stuff that happened. So lots of limestone got turned into marble, and in that marble you will find cool gems. But there isn't much in the way of people looking in that area, like Alberta, Jasper, in that area. But they are there, and so go look for some. Go look for it. The motherfucking Belt Supergroup, baby, as my friend Eric calls it. Eric is a professor of paleontology at Stanford, by the way. So when he says the motherfucking Belt Supergroup, he means it. Okay. Vanilla Gorilla, I'm in. I love your outlook on life concerning relationships. If I'm not for me, who will be? If not now, when? Ancient proverb. Yeah, man. You gotta support yourself, know your worth. And if you're down on yourself, do something to change that. I mean, I don't know how else to tell you to fix that, but like, do some things in your life to improve your situation. If you like, there's time for wallowing. There's some times where like, ugh, this sucks, and you're gonna wallow for a bit. But you can't turn that wallowing into your personality trait. You got to do something. You got to do something with your life. You got to get a hobby. You got to get out there. You got to do something to like ensure that wallowing isn't your hobby. Because if you're wallowing, then no one wants to be around a wallower. And then you're gonna find yourself sad and alone. Like, you know, get out there, do something, get a hobby. Oh crap, it's 4 o'clock. I gotta go. I gotta go water my friend's plants. I promised I was gonna do that. I still have to go to the post office because I forgot to do that yesterday. Post office. All right, I got some things I gotta do. Look for a Twitch stream possibly this week or this weekend. I don't know, maybe one late tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Sorry I didn't get to all your chat questions, and it's a little bit of a shorter show today, but I appreciate you coming on. I'll see you Monday. I'm trying to have Radic22 on Monday, and we're gonna do a Charity Tuesday this Tuesday, and I've not actually decided on what charity I'm gonna do yet. I got some great ideas from people, and I gotta pick one of them. So we'll do our Charity Tuesday this Tuesday, and things are gonna be awesome. All right, you guys ready? How about one of these? Shaboing.